2019 Turkish Airlines Euroleague Final Four'u öncesi Fenerbahçe Beko koçu Željko Obradović ile birlikteyiz. Coach, welcome to our 5th annual pre-Final Four interview. How does it feel?
Not bad, huh?
Not bad.
Not bad. Let's see if we are able to continue something like that.
Well, everyone is talking about, of course, being in the final, the possibility of winning the cups, but I want to start with being in Final Four for 5 consecutive times, because even you, the winningest coach of all the times, you've never done it before in your career.
It was time. No, it's
How hard is it, coach? Five
we are very
consecutive.
happy. We are very happy. First of all, that in the beginning that I came over here, everybody talked about this. That it was the main target, let's say. And thanks to our players, thanks to philosophy that we have over here, we reached this goal. I am really very, very happy because, I understand how difficult is this. And every summer, because you have some changes in your roster, you try to understand if you will be in that level that is necessary to fight with everybody of the rest of the team and to go to Final Four. This year we play very good basketball. This means that in summertime we have good job, even though with some really big problem during the season, some key injured players, but we found a way to play good basketball and just to congratulate to my players for everything that they're doing until now.
And it's also first time in a Turkish basketball history that a Turkish team finishes the regular season at top in EuroLeague with this new competition.
Yes.
And it's also hard too because you have a lot of double game weeks and everything.
Yeah, okay, for everybody it's tough. I believe that for us it was very important at the beginning of the season we play with very hard schedule. We played 3 games outside against Barcelona, Olympiacos and after that Maccabi. We was able to beat them and somehow this give big confidence to players. Of course, after that you understand that you need to continue to work hard and every game it was tough. But however, I'm very proud of the way how we work and how we react in the games because if you have some key players that they was out, reaction of the rest of the team, it was very, very good and very positive. So really very, very happy because of the way how we play.
This season is all about the stories, coach. When I'm thinking of Fenerbahçe Beko's season, I remember the stories. First story was Tyler Ennis and his adaptation period. Even in Žalgiris game on Kaunas during the regular season, he played really well and he contributed to win. So the first story was Tyler Ennis. There were a lot of questions. Could Željko Obradović play with an Canadian point guard who played in NBA? He never came to Europe because you have a lot of details in your game. And then how did it start and this unfortunate injury of it?
Yeah, it was the best moment for him that he started to understand our philosophy and we talk about this, that he need time. So I'm really sorry, very, very sorry what happened to him, but it's true that he helped the team until this moment and it was moment, that we need to react and to understand what we need for the team. It was some possibility, but I always like to think a lot and to understand what is the best option for the team. So in this moment I decided to go with Eric because he's experienced guy that is not point guard, but however, he helped the team a lot and I'm very happy with Eric.
And also remembering the stories after Tyler Ennis' injury, your main point guard, pure point guard, was Kostas Loukas, and he was the only one maybe as a pure point guard. So I remember one timeout because everyone spoke a lot of this timeout in Tel Aviv in Maccabi game. That we felt that while we were on broadcast, we felt that you tried to protect Kostas Loukas from the pressure and everything, and you said that you need to ask me before you do something. So how was it? What do you remember about that timeout and what was your reaction?
Okay, people talk about this timeout, timeout is very specific momentum, you need to, in 1 minute to wake up the players, to explain to them how to continue defensively, offensively, a lot of information. So You know, in every game you can find similar things. But the thing is that, you know, Costa understands very well how much I trust to him. Costa is the kid that now absolutely different level, that momentum that he came over here. He's different player, that way how he played in Olympiacos. So he's one of the leader of this team. Everybody recognizes this. He's very smart. He understands my way to talk to him. He understands my ideas. He's coach of the court. So, you know, if sometimes I need to talk very specifically and very directly to him, Costa understands what I want. This is not only case with Costa. This is case with any another player. My job is this, you know, to find a way during the game to wake up sometimes players, to calm them, sometimes to finally to do my job.
There are a lot of details in that timeout too, because as a fan, I want to understand what you are saying on timeouts. And thanks God to EuroLeague, and thanks to the coaches who are letting it done. I try to find some details. Before you wake Kostas Lukas up, you said because Jan Veseli had a turnover while he was dribbling the ball, because he couldn't give the ball to Kostas Lukas because of the pressure. You said, Jan, you have a right to do this, but if you have space.
Exactly.
So that means I understand that every one of your players have some freedom on the court.
Yeah, okay, but without this is impossible, you know. Everything is about trust, and basketball game and the way how we want to play, I believe that my players understand very well. So I just insist of that some fundamental things, offensively, defensively, that we need to repeat and players to understand. So you give one very good example. You know, space in basketball is something that's very important.
Yeah, you know, when we're talking about Željko Obradović basketball, of course we are talking about spacing and timing.
Yes.
But spacing is the first word. We're having these conversations from 2012, and I think it's our 12th or 13th interview, and we're still talking about this. How important to have to keep the roster in this perspective, for spacing perspective, to keep the roster together?
No, very, very important, of course. You know, everything for me, like coach, is more easy because I have some players that we are together over here. As you said, some of them 5 years, some of them like Meli Makmutoglu 6, another 4, 3 or something like that. You know, it's very easy for me in, let's say, in the practice to call them short time out and say, let's play this, that it was from last year. And everybody remember, you know, some set plays or some way how to defend our opponent team. And after that also during the game. So they remember this, and of course that if you have this kind of automatism in your game, everything is more easy.
Well, when we are talking about your sets, because we try to understand your sets, but this year I understand you have more concepts than set plays, like showing 1, 2, fist, horns. More than that, you have more concepts than set plays, and we feel like players decide.
No, but the concept always, you know, it's some part of the game. Of course, that I believe that you need to improve and to change some things always. I remember very well how I was 27 years ago and also European champion.
Yeah.
Like this year, I'm absolutely different coach. I know this because I improve a lot of things, and every day is possibility to improve and to be better. So this same like players, you know, they need to improve. They need to. I know that sometimes it's very boring for some of them that they are 5 years with me to repeat the things, you know. But you have some new players, and you need to repeat. This is how it is. So, you know, I'm very happy that a lot of them, they understand very much what I want from them. And, you know, talking about concept offensively, this is something that is very important. We need and we want to help the players to be very easy for them, everything, you know. And finally we go back to, you know, even though we have a lot of set places, we're coming back to our main concept offensively, what we want and how we want to attack opponent team. It's very simple, and they understand this.
And also what I see is like Fenerbahce is not pick and roll based team. We can say that maybe you use one screen to create post up game, but you're not based on pick and roll game. And you had some teams it was based on pick and roll, but this year it's something different than the other teams. This is how we feel from outside.
Everything is depend of the quality of your players. You know, screen and roll game is something that everybody use. We have, of course, lot of things in our game that is screen and roll game. This, I will insist, depend of the quality of the player, what you want from this. But also, according to the quality that some and other players that they have, we have inside game, we have, let's say, shooters, we have post-up players. So everything this is very important. And game by game, you try to prepare yourself and to understand, okay, we want the ball over there. Why? Because we have advantage, and or for this action, we will have some kind of advantage. To understand that, we coming to this point that we are in regular season, we was the best team shooting 2 and 3 point shot.
Yeah.
If you don't have good balance in offense, if you don't players that they are not egoists, that they are not players that they don't like to share the ball, very difficult to have this kind of percentage.
And what I see at the top of EuroLeague is it's very strange because there are, of course, many teams play different types of basketball. But when you look at the tag of every team, let's say Real Madrid uses a lot of off-screen games,
Yes.
more than everyone else.
Yeah.
CSKA Moscow uses a lot of isolation plays, especially this year with Will Clyburn and Corey Higgins. You play a lot of post-up game. FS play a lot of pick-and-roll game with their backcourt players. So this is something nice for basketball fans too. But how do you see these kind of variety in European basketball?
Yeah, you have right. You have right. That's exactly how you describe any one of this team. But it's just part of their game.
Yeah.
I agree with you. What you say? It's good. It's good to be different and to understand that not everybody have same style of the game. Of course, always depend of the opponent team. Always, depend of the. I try to teach my players, and I always say, defense give you always something. Take this, and everything will be fine.
We were talking about the stories of the season. Of course, the main story of the season became because of the injuries of you had during the season. Let's say Kostas Lukas didn't play in Barcelona. It was like last minute call for you, and it was hard for you. So Costa didn't play there. So I think it was the start of many important players not playing in important games. So what was the reaction of first you and your staff, and then players?
No, this is how it is. You don't even have time to think about this. You just try to prepare rest of the players to be ready, and their reaction, it was excellent. I remember this game that we played in Barcelona. We prepare ourselves to, because also in that game it was out Sinan.
Yes.
So it was only point guard Bobby, let's say real point guard Bobby, and we use Marco in this position. So we prepare ourselves for that. It was very good game. This example, it was after that, very useful for us for another games without some players.
You said Goodrich played point guard in that game, but I also see Goodrich playing 5 in some of even the league games. So what's the secret of it?
No, it's not secret. If let's say one part of very important part of EuroLeague, Joe Laverne, it was out close to 3 months, and after that also Vesely. So you are without 2 big guys. You try to cover with the players that they have mind and quality to play in different positions, like case of Gigi Datome and Nikola Kalinic. But you coming to this point that they are also out. So first time probably in my life I play really with 5 guards, real guards, position 1 and 2. And okay, the reaction of the practice, it was very good. We have some young kids from our junior team that they come to help. I'm very satisfied with them, the way how they want, and they help the team. Rest of the players, they react, and I said, okay, it's not possible to play 40 minutes with with Ahmed and Nicolo Melli like big guys, so we need to have different kind of game. For me, the player who have incredible season in all the sense, how he helped the team, how many minutes he play, and everything just because of this problem that we have with injured players is Nicolo Melli. And I always try to give to him rest, during the game. I don't want to push him to play a lot of minutes because I understand that it's not so easy. But Nico is how is his character. He always said, "Coach, don't worry, I will play. I will play any minute that you want." So I really want to thanks to him, of course, all the players. But he was in very, very specific situation this year because of all the problems that we have with big guys.
One information we learned during the season, later in the season, so I was sad because I was talking like this on screen, because I thought Nicolo Melli might be more aggressive on the court. But I didn't know that he also had an injury and he played with his injury. So hats off to him. He earns the respect because
yeah, it's true, but he worked very hard, to protect himself. He never complained. He never want to stop, and this is something that I respect so much. It's not only a case of Nico and other players also, but this means that they want to sacrifice for the team. They really like this team and they like basketball generally. So, I'm the person and coach that I never push the players to play. I always ask in any kind of situation they are feeling, because they understand how they feel, if they are able to help the team or not. Finally, they came over and say, "Coach, I'm ready." Okay, the best for me is to listen something like that.
But you don't always listen to your players. I know Jan Veseli wanted to come to Piraeus for Olympiacos game, and you said no, and you should stay with your family.
No, it was good from his side that he want to come and to help the team, but. I remember I go to practice and I say to players that I have this kind of conversation with Jan, but he's not ready. And I always prefer to play with players that are ready, that they prepare themselves for the game. So I no doubt that Jan, with his quality, always is very useful and can be. But in this time, I believe for him it was better to be with family, and for us like team to don't have, in the last moment this kind of surprise for the team.
So, but you always put your family and your personality, even in your players, before than basketball and everything. So you decided that Jan should stay with his newborn kid and family.
Yeah, okay, this is the the best momentum of Jan life. So, games are, I don't know how many, 1,000. This moment it was for him or for his family. Everybody of us was very happy for him, and okay, I believe that in life you have some moments that you need to understand, to support the people and to be close to them. The end of the day, there are really some more important things that is basketball. Even though for me basketball is everything.
So, but talking about your life in Istanbul, because you created your life now. You're in 6th year in Istanbul, and how is your life in Istanbul? What do you do in your spare time? I know that you don't have a lot of spare time, but what do you like to do in Istanbul?
Listen, to be honest, we don't have a lot of time. I'm lucky that I have a lot of friends, and normally we spend the time with the friends after the EuroLeague game. This is only possibility to go out after the game for one dinner, long dinner, until late in the night, because normally you don't have any kind of obligation next morning, and this is how it is. If you have some days off, okay, it's different. You try to use to go to see something that you like in this city, to go in some good places, to be with your family, with friends, and basically to prepare yourself for something that coming. You want to be ready. Every moment that you have, you try to spend in that way to to be sure that preparation for next game will be in the best possible way.
How do you keep your calm all the time? You know, because sometimes you give reaction at first time, but when players are walking to the huddle, to the bench, I see you that you try to breathe one or two times, and then you keep your calm, and then you start the timeout. So how is it possible to have this top moments when you have this emotion, and then you keep your calm again?
If you ask me and you say something like that, I really don't know. I try, to be focused on my job and to do the best possible way my job. I don't know if it's like this. I just try, to think and to have time out. That again, I insist, is very specific. To give information to players and to encourage them for everything that's coming after that. So this is the only way.
You know, Phil Jackson used Zen philosophy in his life. Do you, believe in any philosophical stuff or, psychological books or something you read?
I believe that it is very important to be open with the players, to talk with them. Nobody in the life so much if you are tough and you say the truth in the face. Not so many people like this. I'm like that. And I always like to say to the players the truth. I always like to say to them what is the bad in their game or our game, general team. But I always say also the positive thing. So I'm very straight, and I will continue to be like that because to make fakes never is good. And this is the best philosophy for me that exists: to be honest, to be directly with them, and to also understand their position, and I please them also to be straight with me, to say everything that they believe that is good, and of course it's impossible to be something personally. I am coach their players. This is we are over here just to work in the best possible way for everybody.
But what I see is thinking of Fenerbahce as an opera, as a theater. If one actor doesn't play, everyone knows his lines too. So if you put someone else, he knows their line too. And it's something magical in Fenerbahce because it's not like that in every seasons, every team. So how do you make this possible?
I don't know. I insist on that, that we are a team and that we need to play like team. That any one of them is very important, and just to use the time that is in the court. So, I live the game, I live the practice, is big emotion, and I try to keep everybody concentrated during the game. So this is the reason, because many times I turn to the bench and I talk to the players over there. Very happy if any one of them understand what he need to do. Sometimes this is perfect, sometimes it's not. So this is the time that I need to react. And if you want to be, and if you believe that will be always during the game, and especially during the season, is impossible. So this is the job of the coach, not my job only. I have staff that I'm very, very happy with them, with Vlade, Erdem, Iski, Bata, Ilker, all of them. They help me a lot, and they are the people that many times they go directly to talk to the players in the bench, or even the players that are in the court.
So in your career, coaching career, you played with players who were born in 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and now you have 2000 born players. I see you're working with them. 5 generations. What's the difference?
Exists a difference. Exists for sure, But one more time, I try to be close to them. I understand that they are human beings, that they have private life, that they have their life. We talk about, young people. Some of them, they are very young, as you say, they teens. Some of them, they are 35, 36. But, respect is same always. Always is same respect. Now with the new generation, you have new technology, you have new things. I insist on that the relation between human beings is something that is very important. Directly relation is something that helps a lot, and I will insist on them. I understand that they have different view of the life and everything, but from my side, I try to teach them the more important value in the life of any human being.
So, what's the difference per player's approach? Like, what was the players? What were players doing when in 30
past.
years ago, and now what are they doing?
was
What's
different.
their approach? I'm asking because what I see is mostly the new generation likes their comfort zone a lot.
Yes, okay, but it was very different, and the basketball is different. It was first of all that you play for one club and you play all the life for one club. It was very difficult to change the club, so you play with some teammates a lot of years. You are like people that you spend more time with anyone, even more than your family. You talk about basketball, you talk about everything. Now with new things in our lives, is a little bit different. And I will repeat this, sometimes you have the players that they don't talk between them.
Text?
So yes, okay. So this is, something, because if you don't have something like that they share their ideas, they talk, because finally they need to play together in the court. This is the biggest help that exists. They teach me, and I know that this is true. Good friends, they are good friends in the court. They don't need to be good friends out of the court. This is the main thing. Help me over here. This is that I need your help. Outside, I can call I don't know how many hundreds people to go to drink one drink with me. Everybody will come because this is natural of the people. They like to do this.
Yeah.
But over here, I need help. In time that is difficult for me, help me over here. If you help me over here, you're my friend.
Yeah, and we see that your team is very good on helping each other, especially when we are talking about, especially Fenerbahce's defense. You can say on one-on-one, not the best defenders, but
Yeah.
5-on-5, you have great defense. So this is maybe why, huh?
So we need to go to back to this to play better one-to-one because everything will be more easy.
So I see many teams trying to use one-on-one isolation situations against you, maybe because of this. So how are you prepared?
Okay, but this is that they target some players. That is logical. And can you imagine if I don't say to my players this? Can you imagine if I make fake and I say no, you are able and you will do this? No, you are target. Why you are target? You must understand you are target. They believe that you can play defense one-to-one. So we start over there. Let's put the ball over there and let's see how to help any one of them. This is how is the game. So like we try to find any possibility to attack another team. They try to attack us. So it's very simple. And honestly, we talk about this to play better one-to-one. To don't have this kind of problem that after that we must rotate and it's different basketball. But however, players understand this, and I remember in the past, not now in Fenerbahce, I remember in my teams, the first practice that I put isolation, they look at me and say, look, you will be target. You are target, let's see how to help you. So, okay, this is the way, to explain someone quality that he have offensively or quality that he don't have defensively.
Even Sharas in this playoff matchup, I saw him changing his tactics a lot, and because he was like his tactics were similar to you, starting from the post up, and they were mostly using their post up game or maybe some off screen games with Milaknis. But now, especially in the second game here, he changed a lot. He tried to attack with their guards and everything. So first. As a former coach of Sharas, as a friend of Sharas, how proud are you against him? How proud are you about him that he can show? He showed everyone that he can change his stuff too, mentality too.
If I like to joke like Sharas, I said I don't want to answer any more question about Sharas because he said like that they ask him about me. So, but okay, Sharas is. Great friend is true. He tried to adjust. This is something that is normal. Second game that we lost over here, the main problem it was their inside game, especially Ulanovas that he shot 10 of 10. I believe.
10, yes,
Yeah,
20
so,
points.
So is this means that we even didn't try to play defense. But okay, happened one game. You know, we go over there and we play two very good games. It's true. Every one of us, we try to adjust and we try to, you know, especially in playoff games that you know, in 48 hours you play a new game. You need to prepare yourself and to try to do something different. This is how it is.
I know you like to watch football too, and it's very related to this. Tottenham Hotspur, Ajax. Yesterday night, Ajax were beaten against Tottenham and they lost.
Yeah.
And they had a big advantage and they lost the final spot. So after that, in beIN Sports, it was Jose Mourinho as an analyst. He said that Ajax has a wonderful philosophy. I really respect them and I really like to watch their game as their philosophy. But in this kind of situations, you need to leave your philosophy and go for the strategy. And this is what Pochettino did. He went for the strategy, put a big striker, and then he beat it. So strategy beat philosophy. How do you look at this kind of stuff? And so do you agree with him?
So also this that you talk now, or whoever is philosophy. Philosophy is always on the side who win the game. So, you know, this is how it is. We can discuss whatever you want, but you know, if somebody win the game, you will say this is the right way.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you know, it's very, very easy. You need to talk something like that before the game. This is the, you know, after the game, we said after the battle, everybody is generals. So it's very, very simple. But however, it exists something that is good, that people discuss, people have opinion. And I respect very much this, honestly. I respect anyone of opinion. But
you disagree with Jose Mourinho?
Sorry?
You disagree with Jose Mourinho?
No, I don't say that I'm not agree or disagree. I believe that he's a really great coach. This part I agree with him. Of this we stay on the bench. Not, you know, philosophy, I will die with my philosophy. What mean this? I want to play defense 60 and, you know, another team to score 59. This is not possible. You know, you need to adjust. This that I said, the example, first game that we play in Kaunas, that it was low score with very bad percentage. And I said immediately, not will be fourth game same like this game. And we shot the best game, how we shot 2 and 3-point shot.
What kind of football do you like? Because I know you watch, you try to watch a lot of football too. What's your preference on football pitch? Like, do you like passing game, direct game? What kind of stuff?
No, but I like generally, you know, the teams that they dominate. Let's say lately in Europe, you know, you have a lot of very good teams. Champions League is incredible competition, so full of surprises also. But you know, this is how it is. So the style of the game, you know, we will come back to this that you mentioned that some people discuss about this. You know, philosophy, tactical things, everything. This is good. You can go. We talk about space, something that I'm.
Hey, you talk about Guardiola. I know.
Yeah, I always talk about this. You know, in our court, we believe that space is very important. Imagine how it is in the football. How big space is over there. And you know, I always go to this that you know what Guardiola say, because he want goalkeeper that he know to play like player.
Yeah.
So that everything starts for him. I really don't like to see that goalkeepers, they take the ball and they boom and, you know, what happened of that. Probably this is part of the game. But I really like more that goalkeeper make first pass. And if you watch a lot of big teams in Europe, how calm they are in this part of the game, that somebody make the pressure and they make their main drill probably in the practice, you know, that they play like this with one player inside and how they pass the ball.
In a narrow situation.
You come to this point that, like in our sport, I believe in football, more important is technique, that everybody, any kind of tactic on things like that.
Okay, So let's go back to basketball.
Better.
Better. But you're not bad in football, by the way.
I don't know. Okay.
We see
Like fun.
we see a lot of similarities. We try to do in our tactical show that you have a lot of similarities with football. And now I see in football during the set pieces, they use stagger screens, coach.
Yeah, I know that. Okay. Especially corner situation.
Yeah.
I know, of course.
So about basketball, this year you have a different job to do. You created the Coaches Association, and now you're the president of Coaches Association with unanimous votes. So why did you try to create something like that, and what was the aim?
This idea, it was a lot of years ago, and 2 years ago we start with this, that guy that now is in our association like director, Goran Sašić, he visit every one of us, we give our opinion, and after this we have the meeting in last summer in Barcelona, in the time that we have a normal meeting with EuroLeague over there. So over there we decide and we vote for everything. After that, it was period that again we want to be sure that we are in the good way. So finally, before the game, our game against Real Madrid, we have press conference that we announced that we have now a EuroLeague Coaches Association. We create this association just to help all of us to feel comfortable, to have EuroLeague like partner, to care about any one of our coaches, to promote basketball, to make the clinics, to share our ideas for another coaches. A lot of ideas we have in front of us, and first that we will do, it will be in our meeting, after our meeting in July in Barcelona. We will have a big clinic in Badalona over there that we work now about this, and I believe will be 7 coaches over there. So we expect that will be very interesting for everybody who want to come over there, and our door is open for everyone who want to come over there. We have our regulation, we have our rules, so we believe that this will be big help for all the coaches. We create association not to be 1, 2 or 3 years, to be something that everybody will have trust on that, and to understand that have possibility to feel more comfortable if he is member of coaching association.
I was talking about Ergin Ataman yesterday, and he said that it was a no-brainer that Mr. Željko Obradović would be the president, and it was a unanimous vote that everyone wanted you to be the president. How do you feel about it?
Okay, just to thanks everybody, that they support me and that they trust me. But as I say to any one of them, I'm president, but I'm one of you. I mean, I will never go to take any kind of decision without to talk with all the coaches. This is our association. Everybody is same over there. This that I'm president, okay, now I'm president next year, or I don't know after how many period will be next one, some another else. But the things and feeling that we have between us, coaches, is something special. Believe me, I am, in the meetings of EuroLeague, I don't know how many, more than 20 years. This that we have right now inside over there that we talk is so big respect, so good, and we really share ideas, and almost about any kind of problem that we have is same opinion. And I'm very proud of this. And I say to everybody, feel free to call me for anything that you believe that is good idea to help this organization that we have now.
Even the relationship with referees and players will be affected because of this.
We understand in that way. We want to have respect with and to be partner with EuroLeague, talking about head coaches, talking about association of the players, that by the way also is very good that they have, and also association of the referees. I believe that all this will be big help to be even better EuroLeague and to be better relationship between all of us, because the end of the day, fans, they watch what's going on in the court. If they see this kind of respect, they will respect more competition than any one of us.
I see almost 90% of our EuroLeague coaches are in there, but let's say Svetislav Pešić, he's the coach of Barcelona, which is a very strong organization. He's not there, so
No, we don't push no one, to come. This is something that anyone feel free to decide if he want to be or not to be. Until now, we have members that we have. Anyone who want to come is very welcome, and I hope that in future we'll have more and more members of association.
So about clinics, you will start with this summer in Badalona, you said?
Yes.
Are you going to have much more of them? Let's say maybe some clinics in the future in
No,
Final Four
the
or
plan
something
is to
like that?
change every year city. We just, want to start over there because of this meeting that we have. Next year for sure will be in different country, always different city. We want to go all over the Europe. This without any question. We just start over there because, we have people in Badalona, especially in Juventud, that they help us and they want to help us because we really want to be in the level that is necessary, again, to share with anyone who believe that will be a good help for him to understand some things, the way how, let's say, different coaches in EuroLeague we work.
You talked about the meeting in Barcelona. Yesterday I was with an interview with Ergin Ataman. He said that, and he told me a story in Barcelona, that because you had a problem the previous year, handshake problem during a lot of controversies, and then he said that during Barcelona he came to you as a younger, because it's his role as a younger in Turkish tradition. He came to you and wanted to change the things between you, that he wanted to make everything is okay. How was that? How did you
Yeah,
react?
it's correct, everything that he said. It was like that, and let's leave the past and let's think about future. Right now, like it was always, even just this short period, I have big respect to him, and it's not any kind of reason to don't be like this. This is that I said, we have respect between us, all the coaches in EuroLeague. Everything's fine.
So what about your rivalry with Efes and with Ataman during Vitoria?
No, I believe this is a great result for Turkey like country. That first time will be two Turkish team is something special. We play a lot of games against Efes also this year in all different competition. In President Cup, Turkish Cup, Domestic League, EuroLeague now, Final Four. So very interesting. We know each other very, very well. The difference is that over here in Turkey, we have limit about foreign players. So this means that EuroLeague is more quality for sure for both teams. I believe that Efes deserve to be in Final Four. They play very good basketball during the season. They have very tough series against Barcelona, but they found a way to qualify. Then congratulations to them, and I'm sure that will be very, very good game between us, like all the games that we play until now in Vitoria, also in Final Four.
Yeah, and a lot of comebacks in both games in EuroLeague, and then some close games in the league and Turkish Cup. So you never know about the situation. But Final Four is something different, and you're used to be there. And Efes is there after 18 years.
Yeah, but okay, they have experience players. So yes, somehow they are first time after so many years. But they have some players inside that they've been also before. Coach Ataman also been in Final Four. So, it's not so big deal about that. This is finally...
You think so?
Yes, I believe this is finally basketball game. Something that we're doing. This is how I talk to my players, honestly. So I believe, you go over there, you play the game, and this is it. Will be very wrong to think something like that. That's some kind of advantage for our side. I don't think so.
You
honestly.
don't think so?
No, I don't
But
think so.
a lot of distractions outside the court, press conferences, fan zones, events, galas, and everything.
Okay, this is part of this event, but the end of the day, like some of your colleagues asked me how you feel before the, the jump
Tip
ball
off, yeah.
tip. Yes, I said, I wait for this moment to start. This is the best that exists.
Yeah.
All the season you work and over there. This is that everybody like to do.
Most of the times I see you during the press conferences, and even you don't like some questions. Okay, let's go. You feel.
No,
I
you
feel
don't-
like you want to be on the court sometimes.
Yes, but believe me, it's not the problem. I never think about that exists a good or bad question or something like that. You know how much I respect all of you,
Thank you.
and I'm ready to answer any kind of question. Okay, after 27 years, is obvious that I listen a lot of different kind of questions, but this is how it's the life.
So, talking about injuries, unfortunately, you're not going to have Geoffrey Lauvergne and Gigi Datome. It's officially announced.
Yes.
And you don't know the situations about Jan Veseli and Nikola Kalinic. First, let's talk about Veseli and Kalinic. Can they play?
They are not over here. They try to, to do everything that is possible with medical staff to be able and to practice. How many practice if they come? This is the big question. But however, I have my team. I am focused on my team. I hope that they will be able to start to have some kind of practices with the team. But in this moment, is just this that can I say something like that? But because really I don't know the situation.
About Geoffrey Lauvergne and Gigi?
I'm very sorry for them because first of all, Geoffrey is a lot of months out. Gigi happened this at the game against Dachka.
Marriage.
Knowing Gigi, I know that he will do everything, but it's impossible. Very sorry for him, but they will be with us over there, like always, and this part of the life, what to say.
So, about Final Four, it's really hard for every year. Now it's fifth consecutive year, and it's really hard for fans to come to the Final Four events because of the currency also. The economical situation has changed a lot in 5 years. So what's your message? What kind of a fan atmosphere do you expect in Vitoria?
I don't know. I hope that we will have again our people over there. I understand the situation that you say. I'm very proud of this connection that we have with our fans. Sometimes, I'm very straight and I'm very directly person, and I say something because I believe that my players, they deserve some things. Fans, they understand very, very well this. And one more time, just to thanks to them to great support also this season and to continue to be in the same way in Final Four and playoff time over here.
How important for Turkish basketball to have 2 Turkish Final Four teams?
The good for Turkish basketball, that will be 4th season in the row that will be on finalist. If it was 3 years, this year someone will be for sure. So obviously we like to be final again, but okay, this is I believe something very good.
Okay, coach. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hope to see you in a lot of pre-Final Four interviews too.
No problem. Anytime that you want.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Željko Obradovic'le sezon Final Four öncesi röportajımızı yaptık. Final Four yayınları beIN Sports'ta olacak. Hoşçakalın.